It all started in the small city of Padua, Italy, where a shopkeeper started a journey of curiosity. For many years, the shopkeeper had made harpsichords for a living, and had always been intrigued by the idea of how plucking different strings produced different sounds. The shopkeeper's name was Bartolomeo de Francisco Cristofori. Bartolomeo had a very prominent musical background in his family, and hoped to follow in their footsteps. This is why he opened his harpsichord shop. After numerous years of studying strings and the sounds produced from plucking them, he came across the idea of hitting strings. In 1709, the first version of the piano was born. Bartolomeo gave his creation the name Gravitimbalo con Piano e Forte, or Forte piano. Forte piano is a creation intended to combine the musical characteristics of both the clavichord and the harpsichord. It was built to allow both control of notes and express a varying degree of volumes. The first Forte piano was built out of wood, and it had hammers built out of leather. It yielded a range of 5.5 octaves, with each string running parallel to one another, and had just one pedal located above the user's knee. In 1711, Scipione Maffi wrote about Bartolomeo's Forte piano in an article making the instrument widespread. From this point onward, the instrument became known across Europe, with musicians including Bach, Haydn, and Mozart incorporating it into their musical success. The piano slowly drifted into a cultural norm where everybody wanted to learn it. It was considered the instrument of the century, with numerous royalties purchasing it. From this point onward, the piano held the highest musical significance over the years to come.
Bartolomeo,
Sì,
what are you playing?
a forte piano. Pianos are very complex instruments that use basic sound principles. Sound is produced by the piano with the result of a hammer striking a number of strings, causing them to vibrate. The user will press a piano key, raising the weapon, which then triggers a lever causing a small hammer to strike the corresponding strings to that note. After striking the note, the hammer will fall back into place, and the damper will stop the strings from vibrating. Each string has a specific length, diameter, and tension. Different strings also have different densities. These 4 characteristics cause strings to produce different sounds. The hammer will strike up to 3 strings with each key pressed. These strings will have the same frequency and are allowed to resonate. The vibrations of the strings move to the soundboard, where the energy converts to sound. The soundboard then enhances the loudness of all strings because of an irregular shaped and off-centered bridge placed on it. This is the point at which we can hear the sound. Strikes a string in a piano, it produces a sound, but this sound is very quiet. In order to amplify the sound that the strings make, a soundboard is needed. The soundboard is located under the strings and resonates with the strings, thus producing a greatly amplified sound. The force with which you strike a key amplifies the sound. The more force that you apply to the key, the more amplified the sound is. Lastly, the higher the lid from its resting position, the more amplified the sound is. The soundboard then enhances the loudness of all strings because of an irregular shaped and off-center bridge placed in it. This is the point at which we can hear the sound. This shows the greater intensity of the sound.
How does the pitch change when playing a piano?
When a piano is played, there is a multitude of pitches that are available to use. Pitch is the sound created when a string is hit. This is called a tone. It can be very high or very low. In other words, pitch is the frequency of a vibrating string. In a piano, each string has a set pitch. The pitch varies based on the length, diameter, tension, and density of the string. When a note is played, the wave formed on the string reflects to form a standing wave. This means that there's only one pitch per string. For the piano, if you want to play a different pitch, you simply have to press a different key. The right-hand side of the keyboard or the treble side, has notes with the highest pitch, while the left-hand side of the keyboard, or the bass, has notes with the lowest pitch. The piano is a very unique instrument that incorporates the strengths of many other string instruments. Some of the main characteristics that differentiate pianos from other instruments are its soundboard, bridge, wood type, and shape of the body of the piano. A piano soundboard is made very thick but flexible and is very big in order to displace the greatest amount of air possible. These factors create the best quality of sound. Secondly, the bridge in a piano has to be cut in a very specific way, along with being specifically placed in the piano to resonate with the strings. This will produce the clearest sound. Lastly, it is the wood that makes the piano have such a high quality of sound. A specific type of wood that is very flexible and sturdy is needed for the piano. This wood makes the sound board as well as the rigid body of the piano. Overall, the piano is a unique instrument with the power of all the A musical breakthrough, a cultural norm, a mixture of both science and expression. The piano is an instrument based on the laws of physics and used for the purpose of art. It differs from all other instruments, yet is a combination of all their strengths.